Here with Reaction Now is Texas Senator Ted Cruz. Senator, you didn't talk about the 50 million Americans in poverty on food stamps, the labor participation rate, average median income down $3,000, health care costs up. Did I miss that last night? Did I fall asleep?
You know, Sean, you're exactly right. The facts you're laying out, every one of them was absent last night. You know, I have to say, last night's speech reminded me of one of my young daughter's favorite stories, which is Alice in Wonderland. Yeah. Because it was a speech where facts do not matter. It was a fantastical alternative reality wherein the president's telling working men and women are doing great, never mind the 92 million Americans who aren't working. And the president's telling wage stagnation has not been trapping people, making it harder and harder to make ends meet. And in the president's telling, the foreign policy of this administration is somehow working. Al-Qaeda is on the run, and there is apparently no radical Islamic terrorism, because those words will not come out of his mouth. He literally says this while Yemen is being overthrown. Yemen, of course, being a country just a few months ago he pointed to as an example of what he viewed as the successes of the Obama foreign policy.
So let me sum this up. So we doubled the number of people, or nearly doubled the number of people on welfare and in poverty, on food stamps and in poverty. And let's see, ISIS didn't happen in Syria and Iraq, and terrorism's doing fine. We'll use Yemen as an example, and everything's just fine. Does he really believe that? Because that's a bigger problem, in my view, if he really believes it.
It was a level where facts, you know, John Adams famously said, facts are stubborn things. You know, it was interesting hearing him, for example, take credit for expanded energy production. Now, of course, that energy production has occurred almost exclusively on private lands, on public lands that the federal government has access to. They've made it harder and harder to develop energy. And I'll tell you, one of the more surreal moments of his speech was when he was talking about Russia. And he said, gosh, just a few months ago, people were saying Putin is a genius. And then he says, well, now the Russian economy is in real trouble. Who's the genius now? He boosted.
All right.
Somehow taking credit for the collapse in oil prices, which had nothing to do with the Obama administration.
So now the question is, how should Republicans deal with him? None of this is going to happen. What should Republicans, in your estimation, be doing?
Well, listen, I think last night demonstrated that President Obama refuses to look forward. He refuses to lead. So now it's incumbent on Republicans to lead. If the president's not going to lead, we have to. We need to step up with a positive pro-economic growth, pro-jobs agenda. We need to take up and begin passing pro-growth legislation, one after the other, tax reform, regulatory reform, expanding energy, helping people, health care, allowing people to buy health insurance across state lines, improving our standing in the world, defending our constitutional rights, and put those bills on the president's desk, one after the other after the other. Now, if he wants to, he can veto them all, but that'll just make clear that it is he who is forcing gridlock and obstruction, and we need to lead to solve the real problems people are facing today.
All right, Senator Ted Cruz of Texas. Thank you, sir.